Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into an amazing story.
We are.
It's about Greta Thunberg. How just one person really sparked this huge global movement.
Yeah, and change the whole conversation around climate change, fundamentally.
Exactly. So we've got this stack of notes, excerpts, outlining her journey, her impact. And what we want to do in this deep dive is figure out how. How did she actually manage that?
That's the core question, isn't it?
It is. Like, what was it about this young voice, specifically, that just resonated so widely? Challenging world leaders, getting millions involved. What were the key elements?
Right, and that's our mission here. We're not just recounting what she did, though that's important, but really trying to dissect the how.
Okay.
So looking at the details in our sources, her unique way of seeing things, that incredible determination, we want to help you understand the mechanics, really. How any individual actually can become this powerful force.
Regardless of age or background.
Precisely. And what's so fascinating reading through this material is how her personal story, her qualities, kind of met this critical global moment, almost perfectly timed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The research, it gets into her early life pretty quickly. Born in Stockholm, 2003.
Right.
Not really a political family background, but even super young, she had this intense clarity about the climate crisis, seeing something that maybe others were missing or ignoring.
Exactly. And the material points out at just 11, she was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. And what really stands out, what she herself said, is that she views this as her superpower.
Yeah, I saw that in the notes. It's quite a statement.
It really is. And it's not just like a catchy phrase. The sources suggest it's fundamental to understanding her. She talked about how it gives her this intense focus, this unwavering resolve, and her words, a black and white view of the world.
Interesting. So no shades of gray on this particular issue for her.
Pretty much. For her, climate change wasn't some far-off problem, abstract. It was right here, right now, an emergency, an undeniable one.
Undeniable. And that clarity, that lack of maybe the usual political hedging that became her driving force, and crucially, the source of incredible courage.
That black and white view definitely seems to have pushed her into action. I mean, August 2018, she's just 15.
15, yeah.
And she decides, right, enough's enough. Skips school. Sits outside the Swedish parliament, alone, with that handmade sign, school strike for climatet, school strike for climate. It's kind of staggering to picture. Just one kid.
It's become such an iconic image, hasn't it? And the sources really emphasize how quickly that simple act just resonated. It wasn't only the message, strike for climate, but the powerful visual. A child literally putting her future education on pause.
Right.
For the planet's future. Plus that house on fire analogy she started using just cut through.
Yeah, very direct, very relatable.
Totally. It bypassed all the political jargon, hit people emotionally across different cultures. And within months, that one person striking became, well, a global movement.
Fridays for Future. Fridays for Future. Millions of students all over the world joining in, demanding leaders treat the crisis like the emergency she said it was. That's the contagion effect right there.
And she didn't just stay outside parliaments, did she? The material shows she went straight to the top.
Oh, yeah.
Addressing world leaders, UN, European Parliament, met the Pope.
Yeah.
Calling out billionaires, CEOs, politicians, always with that same clear message.
That single focus.
I want you to act as if your house is on fire. Because that quote pulled from the sources, it's so blunt, so powerful.
It really is, and it connects straight to her complete willingness to speak truth to power, no hesitation.
Yeah.
One of the most powerful examples, and it's detailed right here in our notes, was at the UN Climate Action Summit 2019.
Oh, I remember seeing clips of that.
Yeah, looking directly at these global leaders and saying, how dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And what our sources really bring out is that this wasn't some calculated performance. It seemed to just flow directly from her personal conviction.
There's pure belief in what she was saying.
Exactly. It wasn't about playing the diplomatic game. It was about what she saw as the absolute truth. And that seemed to make her almost immune to the usual power dynamics in those rooms.
It's amazing how that conviction translated into such huge global impact. I mean, the research lists up incredible stats. Time Magazine's Person of the Year 2019, nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize multiple times.
Right.
inspiring protests in, what, over 7,500 cities? Speaking on stages most adults, even powerful ones, never reach.
True. But maybe the biggest success, and this really comes through when you analyze the material, is how she took climate change from being, maybe a bit niche or something only certain groups talked about.
Or just highly politicized.
Right, exactly. And she made it mainstream. A dinner table conversation, something discussed in schools, newsrooms, everywhere, even on shows like ours. That fundamental shift in public awareness, making it unavoidable, that's a massive achievement for one person's voice.
Of course, putting yourself out there like that with such a direct message.
Yeah.
She faced a ton of criticism.
Oh, absolutely. Politicians, commentators, climate deniers. The sources mention mocking, insults, people underestimating her constantly. But she just seemed to stay completely focused, fearless, really.
Yeah, how did she handle that?
Well, this is another place where her unique personality, as the sources describe it, really comes into play. There's that brilliant example where a very powerful world leader tweeted something critical about her.
Okay.
And her response was just to change her Twitter bio. It read something like, a teenager working on her anger management problem, currently chilling and watching a good old-fashioned movie with a friend.
Ah, that's pretty good.
Right. That mix of humor, confidence, and just refusing to be drawn into petty fights, that's what the sources suggest made her so effective. She could deflect the noise while sticking to her core message.
Like that black and white view helped her filter out the distractions.
It almost seems that way, doesn't it? Like she just wasn't going to get sidetracked.
So, looking beyond the strikes and the speeches, what's the sort of deeper takeaway message here? Because the sources are clear, it wasn't just about saving polar bears, was it?
No, not at all. And this gets us to that really crucial, bigger point she consistently made. It's about justice.
Climate justice.
Climate justice.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, she kept hammering home that climate change hits the poorest people first and hardest, that it impacts the youngest generations for the longest time, and that's ultimately about the future itself.
Right.
She wasn't asking for everyone to be perfect, but she was asking people to care, to learn the facts, and most importantly, to demand action, reframing it that way as justice, not just environment. That's a really profound contribution from her.
It really is. What an incredible journey we've covered in this deep dive. From, one person protesting alone
Just outside the Swedish parliament.
to inspiring literally millions of students across the globe.
Yeah.
And genuinely changing the conversation.
Yeah.
Making climate change something people discuss at dinner, in schools, in the news.
Yeah, you can't ignore it now in the same way.
No.
And this deep dive, I think, it just powerfully shows how that deep personal belief, when it's clearly expressed and, frankly, fearlessly delivered, it can create these massive ripple effects all around the world. And that core message sticks, doesn't it? Climate change is about justice.
Poorest first, youngest longest, future most of all.
Exactly. It's a powerful reminder of what one individual voice can actually achieve.
So as we wrap up, maybe something for you, the listener, to think about, something that really struck me from the source material.
Yeah.
Greta Thunberg didn't wait. She didn't wait to be older or richer or more powerful before she decided to make a difference.
No, she just started.
She just stood up
Yeah.
with a sign. So maybe the question for you is, thinking about her approach, what do you stand for? And what might your sign be in trying to shape the future?